Hollywood might look glamorous, but behind those red carpets lie dark secrets buried for decades. From scandals that destroyed careers to shocking truths the studios tried to erase, today, we're uncovering 15 banned Hollywood stories you were never meant to hear. Stay till the end, because number 1 will change how you see classic cinema forever. Marilyn Monroe's Secret Files. Marilyn Monroe, the ultimate Hollywood icon, lived a life of glamour, fame, and mystery, but her death in 1962 remains one of the darkest unsolved secrets in showbiz. Officially labeled as a suicide, many believe it was something far more sinister. After her passing, FBI and CIA documents were locked away, reportedly containing shocking details about her connections to U.S. political figures, including President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert. Some insiders claimed Marilyn knew too much about government secrets, hidden affairs, and scandals that could have destroyed powerful men. Hollywood insiders whispered that her phone was tapped and that she had a red diary full of explosive information. That diary vanished the night she died. Whether it was suicide, murder, or cover-up, one thing is clear: the truth about Marilyn Monroe's final days was never meant for the public to hear. Charlie Chaplin's Exile from America. Charlie Chaplin, the man who made the world laugh without saying a word, faced one of Hollywood's most shocking bans. In the 1940s, at the peak of his fame, Chaplin became a target of political paranoia. His outspoken views on poverty, war, and human rights led the U.S. government to label him a communist sympathizer. When he left for London in 1952 to premiere his new film Limelight, the U.S. government revoked his re-entry visa, effectively exiling him from the country that made him a legend. Behind the scenes, Hollywood studios were pressured to distance themselves, and his films were quietly pulled from theaters. For 20 years, Chaplin lived in Switzerland, heartbroken but defiant. When he finally returned to America in 1972 to receive an honorary Oscar, the entire audience stood in tears, honoring a genius Hollywood once tried to erase forever. Judy Garland's studio abuse. Judy Garland, the beloved star of The Wizard of Oz, lived a life that seemed magical on screen but was filled with torment behind the scenes. From the age of 13, MGM Studios controlled every part of her existence: her diet, sleep, and even her emotions. Executives forced her to take amphetamines to stay awake for long filming hours and sleeping pills to rest, trapping her in a brutal cycle of addiction. She was constantly told she wasn't pretty enough or thin enough, destroying her self-esteem. Studio heads made her work endless hours while hiding her pain behind the image of America's sweetheart. As she grew older, her dependency worsened, and Hollywood abandoned her when she became too difficult. Judy's tragic death at 47 wasn't just a loss, it was the result of an industry that valued profit over a woman's soul. Clark Gable's hidden child. Clark Gable, known as the King of Hollywood, was every woman's dream and every man's idol, but behind his charm lay a secret the studios fought to bury. In 1935, while filming The Call of the Wild, Gable had an affair with his co-star Loretta Young. When she became pregnant, a scandal could have destroyed both their careers. At that time, an out-of-wedlock child was unthinkable in Hollywood's golden image. The studio quickly arranged for Loretta to disappear, claiming she was ill. Months later, she returned with a newly adopted baby girl, her own daughter, Judy Lewis. The truth stayed hidden for decades. Judy only discovered Gable was her real father in her 30s after noticing her uncanny resemblance to him. It was one of Hollywood's best-kept secrets, a reminder of how far the studios would go to protect their stars' reputations and keep the fantasy alive. The Black Dahlia Connection. In 1947, Los Angeles was shaken by one of the most gruesome murders in Hollywood history, the killing of 22-year-old aspiring actress Elizabeth Short, forever remembered as the Black Dahlia. Her body was found mutilated in a vacant lot, and the details were so horrific that newspapers called it the most shocking crime of the century. But what made it even darker were the rumors linking the case to Hollywood's elite. Some whispered that powerful studio executives, actors, and even police officials were involved or helped cover up the truth. Elizabeth had dreams of fame and had allegedly attended several private Hollywood parties before her death. Every lead mysteriously vanished, witnesses went silent, and the case remains officially unsolved to this day. Many believe the truth was buried deep to protect names too big to expose, making the Black Dahlia murder Hollywood's most chilling forbidden mystery. Natalie Wood's mysterious death. Natalie Wood was one of Hollywood's brightest stars, known for West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause. But her death in 1981 remains one of Hollywood's most suspicious tragedies. She drowned near Catalina Island during a weekend boat trip with her husband, actor Robert Wagner, and co-star Christopher Walken. The official report called it an accidental drowning, yet questions never stopped. Witnesses reported hearing screams from the water, and bruises were later found on her body. Over the years, Wagner's story changed several times, and the case was reopened as suspicious decades later. Many believe Natalie knew secrets about Hollywood's darker side, and that her death wasn't an accident at all. Friends claimed she was terrified of deep water and would never have gone out alone that night. To this day, her mysterious death remains an unsolved riddle, one that Hollywood still refuses to fully answer. Fatty Arbuckle's scandal that destroyed silent Hollywood. Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle was once the most beloved comedian in silent Hollywood, even more famous than Charlie Chaplin. But in 1921, his career ended overnight when he was accused of a shocking crime, the death of actress Virginia Rappe during a wild Hollywood party. The media went into a frenzy, calling Arbuckle a monster before the trial even began. Though he was acquitted 3 times and declared innocent, the damage was done, his films were banned, his contracts were cancelled, and his name became synonymous with scandal. Behind the scenes, some insiders believed Arbuckle was a scapegoat, sacrificed by the studios to protect bigger stars and preserve Hollywood's image. The case destroyed his life and reputation, showing how fast the same industry that builds legends can destroy them. Hollywood's first major scandal became a warning: fame can vanish in one headline. The Errol Flynn underage scandal. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckling hero of Robin Hood, was adored by millions for his charm, looks, and adventurous spirit. But in 1942, his glamorous image shattered when he was accused of seducing 2 underage girls. The press had a field day, and the phrase, "in like Flynn," was born from the scandal. Hollywood panicked. Flynn was one of their biggest moneymakers, so powerful studio lawyers and PR agents went to work, twisting the story and silencing witnesses. Though Flynn was acquitted in court, many believed the studios used their influence to protect him. Afterward, his career continued, but his reputation never fully recovered. Behind the fame, Flynn's life spiraled into alcohol, drugs, and scandal after scandal. Hollywood never punished him, they simply hid his darkness behind the mask of stardom, proving that in the golden age, the camera showed only what the studios allowed you to see. The death of Jean Harlow's husband. Jean Harlow, the original blonde bombshell, lived a life of dazzling fame, but her story took a dark turn in 1932 when her husband, producer Paul Byrne, was found dead in their home. The official report said suicide, but Hollywood insiders whispered otherwise. Byrne was discovered with a gunshot wound and a strange note that didn't add up. Within hours, MGM studio executives rushed to the scene before police arrived, removing documents and cleaning the house. Rumors spread that a jealous ex-lover or a secret confrontation had led to Byrne's death. Some even believed the studio staged the suicide to protect Harlow's career. MGM spun the story as a tragedy of love, and Jean was told never to speak of it again. 2 months later, she returned to work, smiling for the cameras, another Hollywood star forced to hide unbearable pain behind the illusion of glamour. The disappearance of Thelma Todd. Thelma Todd, known as Hollywood's ice cream blonde, was one of the most loved comedy actresses of the 1930s, until her mysterious death shocked the world. In December 1935, she was found dead inside her car, parked in her garage above a restaurant she co-owned. The police ruled it accidental carbon monoxide poisoning, but too many details didn't make sense. She had bruises on her face, and friends claimed she had been arguing with powerful men the night before, including her ex-lover, a mob-connected film producer. Rumors spread that she was silenced because she knew too much about the mafia's grip on Hollywood's nightlife. The case was quietly closed, and the truth buried along with her. Thelma Todd was only 29 years old when she died, leaving behind one haunting question that still echoes through old Hollywood: who really killed Thelma Todd? The cursed set of Rebel Without a Cause. Rebel Without a Cause wasn't just a movie, it became one of Hollywood's eeriest legends because nearly every main actor met a tragic fate. James Dean, the film's star, died in a car crash before the movie even premiered, his Porsche famously nicknamed the Little Bastard. Co-star Natalie Wood later drowned under suspicious circumstances, and Sal Mineo was murdered in a brutal stabbing years later. Even minor cast members experienced freak accidents and strange deaths. Many believed the film was cursed, saying it carried the restless energy of its troubled young stars. Behind the glamour, Hollywood insiders whispered about the price of fame, that some films carried energies too dark to contain. Whether it was coincidence, fate, or something supernatural, Rebel Without a Cause became more than a movie, it became a chilling reminder that some Hollywood stories were never meant to have a happy ending. The mystery of George Reeves' death. George Reeves, best known as TV's original Superman, was a real-life hero to millions, but his death in 1959 became one of Hollywood's most haunting mysteries. He was found dead in his Los Angeles home with a gunshot wound to the head, and police ruled it a suicide. But almost immediately, friends and neighbors began to doubt that story. There were no fingerprints on the gun, multiple bullet holes in the room, and guests were downstairs during the shooting, yet no one claimed to hear a thing. Reeves had recently ended an affair with the wife of a powerful MGM executive, and many suspected revenge was involved. The studio quickly pushed the suicide narrative, closing the case within days. To this day, no one truly knows what happened that night. The man who played an immortal hero died under mortal Hollywood secrets, buried with the truth forever. The Peg Entwistle Hollywood sign tragedy. In 1932, struggling actress Peg Entwistle became a chilling symbol of Hollywood's broken dreams. She had once been a promising stage performer, but when film roles never came, despair took over. One September night, she climbed Mount Lee, scaled a 50-foot ladder to the top of the giant H in the Hollywood sign, and leapt to her death. Her body was discovered 2 days later, along with a note that read, "I am afraid, I am a coward. I am sorry for everything." The most haunting part? Just days after her death, a letter arrived offering her a starring role, as a woman who commits suicide. Peg's story became legend, whispered through Hollywood for decades as the ghost of the Hollywood sign. Her tragic end symbolized what the industry often hides: for every star who rises, countless dreams are crushed beneath the glittering illusion of fame. The silent death of Carole Landis. Carole Landis was one of Hollywood's most beautiful rising stars in the 1940s, glamorous, talented, and adored by fans. But behind the smiles, she was trapped in a secret affair with the married actor Rex Harrison. When Harrison refused to leave his wife, Carole's world shattered. On July 5, 1948, she was found dead in her home, reportedly from an overdose. But what made her death suspicious was how quickly the scene was cleaned up before police arrived, and how the studio hushed the story. Harrison's involvement was downplayed, and media coverage was tightly controlled to protect his career. Friends claimed she left a note, but it mysteriously disappeared. Carole's death exposed Hollywood's cruel double standard, where powerful men walked free while women were destroyed to keep their image perfect. She became yet another forgotten victim of an industry built on secrets, silence, and heartbreak. The death of Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge was Hollywood's first black woman to be nominated for an Oscar, a trailblazer who broke barriers in a deeply racist industry. Behind her breathtaking beauty and talent, however, lay a life full of pain, betrayal, and struggle. Studios adored her face but refused to give her leading roles unless she played stereotypes. She was often banned from hotels she performed in and denied love publicly because of her race. By the 1960s, her career had crumbled, and she was drowning in debt. On September 8, 1965, Dorothy was found dead in her apartment at only 42 years old. The cause was ruled an overdose, but friends believed it was despair that truly killed her, despair born from a system that used her brilliance but never accepted her. Her death wasn't just a tragedy, it was Hollywood's silent confession of how it destroys the ones who shine too brightly.